Joining us now, Brian Claypool. He had to evacuate his home. Thankfully, his home was spared. But Brian, I know you've had just a horrific week. Thank you so much for being back with us. The last time you and I spoke, you were in the process of evacuating. Tell me what you went back to.
Yeah, hey, Marty. First of all, thank you for caring about, the victims of the fire. Your show was there the morning I was evacuated, and I appreciate that. It actually helped me work through the trauma. But so I had to evacuate at 5 a.m. last Wednesday morning. I had, 10 minutes to get everything ready, get a 9-month-old baby out the door with the nanny. I had one pair of clothes for 5 days. So we were displaced 5 days, finally made it back. So my teenage daughter and I made it back to my home late Sunday night, and by the grace of God, our home was spared. But in the interior of my house, we still have the stench of smoke, and there were some ashes inside the house. And, I told one of your producers, you can't find an air purifier anywhere in LA County. I had ordered one on Amazon last Thursday, not delivered. So I had to drive with my daughter to San Bernardino County, about an hour or so east of LA, and I found a small air purifier to start using it throughout the house because of it's not good to breathe inside the house. And that said, I haven't seen my 9-month-old daughter for several days now. She's not going to be back here until the home is cleared with the air purifier. So I've been separated from her as well. So it's been very traumatic. And look, I have mixed feelings that, I was happy our house was saved, but I've been very depressed. I had been having trouble sleeping because I'm feeling kind of, the guilt you feel when you get back and your house is okay. But you know that many people not far from my home, a mile or two from my home, have lost everything. You kind of wonder, like, why not my home instead of their home? So I'm going through that as well. But thank you for asking.
Yeah, of course. No, I think there's so many levels of this tragedy, and each equally important, and people feel those emotions differently. I would imagine, Brian, because you thought as you went to sleep last Tuesday night, you thought your home wasn't in danger, and then you quickly had to evacuate, and there were embers flying as you did around your community. This will forever change your behavior living in that area of the country. Have you had much time to let those thoughts settle in?
Well, you raised a good point, which is when I was leaving that morning at 5 a.m., I saw embers in my driveway. And in fact, I went back to my Ring camera when I got back home, Marty, and I saw on the camera the embers in my driveway. So people need to realize, like, a fire could have been worse than it was. Fire could have started on my roof, even though the actual fire was not right next door to my house. It was close. But that's something that's terrifying. And in terms of your question, for me, the bigger issue is our leadership in LA County. It's less about what I can do. It's about what we deserve living in LA County. And make no mistake about it, Marty, this was a catastrophic failure of political leadership. And again, I'm not politicizing this. In fact, this isn't really a political issue. This is an issue of human decency. And our political leadership failed us. And a lot of us feel like, that we were subjected to a game of Russian roulette on the night of the last Tuesday. What do I mean by that? You alluded to it. Why weren't there firefighters deployed? For example, let's talk about Altadena. That is a tier 3 fire risk, Marty. What does that mean? It's the highest risk of a fire taking place. The Pacific Palisades, notorious for fires taking place. There have been fires in Malibu. Why weren't firefighters deployed in those areas before the fire started? And then we get to the issue of, the lack of water. Why was the Santa Ynez Reservoir drained by Janice Quinones, the head of the DWP, Department of Water and Power, months before the fire? Marnie, that reservoir held 117 million gallons of water that could be used to fight the fire. Why weren't fire hydrants fixed? I read an article that an LAPD fire chief every year goes to every single fire hydrant in LA and sends a report to the LA Department of Water and Power and says, these are the ones that are broke. Nothing was fixed. That's at her desk. She should have made sure, that was taken care of. And on top of that, my last point is, Karen Bass, there was a leaked memo that a week before the fire, she wanted to decrease the budget another 49 million for the LA Fire Department. Gavin Newsom had reduced by 100 million money toward fire prevention. Proposition 1 in California was passed in 2014 that allocated 7.1 billion with a B to California to build more water reserves. We're 10 years out from that, Marnie, and nothing was done. Where did that money go? Why isn't there an outside investigation on where that $7.1 billion went to build more water reservoirs in California? So at the end of the day, our ecosystem in California lended itself to needing better leadership. This wasn't brain surgery. This was human decency. Leadership knew, Marnie, that these winds were coming at 80 to 100 miles an hour. I had the worst feeling in the pit of my stomach when I saw that. So something was foreseeable like this. I'm not blaming leadership for the cause of the fire, but in terms of mitigation factors, this was just an absolute disaster.
A lot of people, Brian, sharing in your frustration, criticism for leadership, lack of preparedness. You're a trial attorney, legally speaking. What avenues do people have right now, and have you investigated what you may yourself pursue?
Yeah, that's a great question, Marnie. I own a law firm. I'm a trial attorney out here in Pasadena, actually, not far from the fire. We already represent 3 families who've lost their homes in the Eaton fire. So what we've learned in the investigation of the Eaton fire is there was an eyewitness, and we believe there might even be some video out there showing that the Eaton fire may have started at the bottom of a Southern California Edison transformer. So Southern California Edison is one of the electrical providers to certain parts of LA County. So there has already been a lawsuit filed against Southern California Edison. I'll probably end up representing a few more families who've had fire damage or lost their homes in a case against SoCal Edison. That's as to the Eaton fire. But I got to tell you, people that are victims of the Pacific Palisades fire, I personally believe they have a claim against the city of Los Angeles and potentially the county of Los Angeles for the reasons that I just articulated for you. Just a colossal failure to prepare for a fire of this magnitude, failing to have water to fight these fires. Man, if I was living in the Palisades and I lost my home, I would be going after the city of Los Angeles in a lawsuit. So I would expect also some impending lawsuits as it relates to the Pacific Palisades fire against the city of Los Angeles.
Wow. Brian, my heart breaks for you, but I'm so thankful to see you. And I know you feel the support from so many right now as you get back into your home and hopefully soon reunite with your baby girl. Thank you as always.
Yeah, thank you, Marty, again for caring too. It meant a lot to me during a really harrowing experience. Thank you.
Equally for me. So Brian will be in touch. Thanks again.
Thank you.